Let's talk about the joke that made Drake fans cry real tears.
Well, we're halfway through the show, which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile. Don't worry, I'm lawyered up. Anyway.
What up, where's your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those cash apps to CLBMG. I appreciate you, gang. Listen, I woke up this morning. It was a good day. I walked my dogs, my two little toy Mickeys, Franny and Coco, and got ready for my coffee and things of that nature. And it was just, the morning was fine. I opened up my Twitter. I knew the Oscars were on last night. I didn't actually watch them live, but I knew a couple things that happened. And I knew Conan was the host. But I didn't see the jokes. I didn't see any of that information until the morning time. And I didn't even know what had happened or transpired, but I go on my social media. And yes, it is X, aka Twitter. And I see this tweet, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And the tweet goes like this. So pedophilia is a joke now. And Drake is getting crucified on every stage worldwide with no proof or actual accusations. And actual criminals are laughing about this. Did we land in some dystopian dimension? Cause what? I'm like, what is triggering these guys now? I can't go on here without them being triggered about something, but this is new. This feels different. So I'm like, oh, something must have been said on stage at the Oscars. Conan was the host, so he must have said something about Drake, because this isn't the only post bringing up the fact that Drake was allegedly called a PDF file by Kendrick. So I go into my other social media. Sure enough, I go into my hip-hop discussion group, and they already talking about it. There's a clip, there's a picture. So Conan, which I am a big fan of, huge fan of Conan. I watched Conan all the way up until his show went off the air. And I am a huge fan of Conan. I like dark humor. I like ironic humor. I like humor, right? I listen to a lot of comedians, and some people, even when they say that they're offended by something, it takes a lot to offend me. I'm just going to be honest. It takes a lot because I am a comedian's comedian. I love jokes. Some people find me funny on these videos, right? So I say all that to say this. Conan, in the middle of the show, goes, quote, "Now we're halfway through the show, which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile." Audience is like, oh, they don't know how to react to this. They're like, oh, shh. They laughed because it's funny. It's funny, gang. It's not being mean to Drake or Kendrick. It's just funny. Then he goes, "Don't worry, I'm lawyered up." That joke had to be approved by the Academy, gang. He's not winging this or swinging this. Every joke on here is approved. Oh, man. Forget it. It got so serious in the OVO land. Up and down my timeline, they cannot believe this. They cannot, the outrage, the concern. It is like World War III has happened. Run, hide your kids, hide your wife. Because we are in a dystopian future where the PDF word is used freely on stage. And the industry is out to get Mr. Drake. So I immediately scroll my mind to figure out how we got here. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are these people serious? Because as I'm scrolling my mind, I start to remember there was a song where Drake used AI to make himself sound like Tupac and Snoop. And this was arguably cocky Drake. We're going to refer to the bubble bath rapper Drake as cocky Drake. He's always been the bubble bath rapper. Let's just get that straight. But before this battle, he was Cocky Drake, the bubble bath rapper. He wasn't 20 holes in my jacket with smoke coming out, the victim Drake yet. He was Cocky Drake, bubble bath master, right? And Cocky Drake, the robed up bubble bath master, made a song, right? Where he pretended that he was Tupac. And Cocky Drake was so cocky, he dared, not even dared, he begged them. We need you, Kendrick, we need you, the West Coast need you. Remember that? Where he begged Kendrick to use that angle. Oh, I heard it on Joe Budden show. That I like young girls, that I like them young. Use that angle. Because at the time, he thought he was doing an Eminem. He thought he was doing a B Rabbit. I'm going to get in front of it. Clarence got some really good parents. Remember, he said, I am white. I am from the trailer park. He thought he was getting in front of it. And when you get in front of stuff, you take the power away. So he thought he was taking the power away from that argument by getting in front of it. So he dared and begged Kendrick to use that angle because at that point, by him saying this, it's going to flop. He already tried to B-rabbit the situation and make sure that if Kendrick did try to use that angle, it was going to flop. He told him, you better do some double and triple entendres. He's trying to make it hard on him. He's trying to use every angle that he thought he can use, take it from him. It's an old trick. You go first in a battle, you're going to try to think about what this guy's going to try to say. You're going to get up there, you're going to say, yo, you're going to talk about my wife and how I ain't got no life. You're going to try to get in front of it. He tried to get in front of it. But what he didn't know that this young little short guy that he calls a midget is very, very smart. He's smarter than that. Because it's way more on you than that. That was the ice, that was the cherry on the top, gang. He didn't beat you because he called you that. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people want to think that this is all he called them and then he won the battle. No, he called you a lot of things, gang. He said a lot of things about you. He spoke to your mom. He spoke to your dad. He spoke to your son and your hypothetical daughter, which who gives a shit if she's real or not? It was a great entertainment. It was great entertainment, gang. Just like you supposed to have the Good Kid, Mad City van, and you're supposed to be crushing it in the beginning of your video. It's entertainment. It's all entertainment. And I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, you asked him to use this angle. I don't know if he remembers that. I'm not sure if he remembers that he asked this guy to use this angle. So then I'm like, let me dig a little bit deeper because this cannot be. And this is the thing. It's not necessarily Drake. It's his fans that go on these whimsical, these finger waving missions about how wrong this guy is. Everything that has happened since this guy lost his battle is because of the PDF file allegations, which I had to write under that post. I said, if he didn't move the way he moves, the allegations would have never stuck. So that in and of itself is a big problem. I can't be called one of those and it sticks if I don't got no smoke and no fire. So something's going on where people actually believe this and have a case against you, gang. But no, these fans, these Drake guys, they're still all up and down. I can go down my Twitter. I can read you 20 of these posts of how we're in the decline of society and how the real abusers are now getting overlooked because everybody's talking about Drake. No one cares about pedophilia anymore because it's a punchline. And now everybody is overlooking the fact that there are real and egregious criminals running the streets, perpetrators of crimes of this nature. And now it's a laughingstock. And kids don't even know the proper context. So where was the proper context when on the Hard Part 6, Drake kind of remembers, oh, mother I. Remember when Drake was on the Hard Part 6? He said, mother I. Wait a second. That's that one record where you say you got molested. Fuck me. I just made the whole connection. That's why these pedophile raps is the shit you're obsessed with. Now, I heard Mr. Morale just like you, and he clearly said, I listened to Mr. Morale probably 100 times. Dead ass. I ain't never hear him say he got molested. He said just the opposite. I never got molested. His mom was asking him, he asked his mom, why didn't you believe me? Because his mom wouldn't believe him. He clearly said it never happened to me, but my mom thought it did happen. And she would never, ever let it go. If I'm not mistaken, they accused somebody who didn't do it. But somehow Drake put the pieces together on his own song, his retaliatory song, which was supposed to be the response to Not Like Us, Hard Part 6, which ended the whole battle for him, where he's telling this guy, I remember you got molested. He's mocking it. So I'm trying to figure out at what point did Kendrick become the villain in this when let's say you thought he really did get molested. And you mocked him on your song, gang. But this is the guy they're trying to make the victim. You told him to use the angle, and then you cried about having the angle used on you. You went to court and sued your label because he allegedly called you this. The whole case makes no sense, but you can't tell these people that. They're jumping up and down about a #1 album that only went #1 because nothing else was out. Kids Bop could have came out and beat that record. He would have lost to Kids Bop. But nothing was out. Enjoy Your 247, right? And you almost lost to Kendrick's 13-week-old album. You running neck and neck with an album that's 13 weeks old. They're celebrating about beating an album that's damn near should have been on his way out already. But these Drake fans, oh my God, it's the worst situation on earth. They can't believe it. So then I start thinking, wasn't these the same ones that was saying Andrew Schulz was just joking? Y'all remember Andrew Schulz, the comedian? The very, very seething, alt-right-ish white comedian who got offended when Kendrick came out with GNX and he said, don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. He assumed it was about him. He assumed he was the intended target and went on a tear, just as sensitive as Drake. See, the reason we're still here with this Drake thing, because Drake never responded to this situation right. He dragged this out by being so emo about it. We've had guys in history, in hip-hop history, that have lost battles and just moved on. They've all handled this thing better than this. All of them, win or lose. This is not how you handle this, to drag it on and on and on and on. You're dragging it through the court systems. You're dragging it through the public opinion. You're just dragging it on and on. And this battle should have ended with the Hard Part 6 loss. We should have got 2-3 more weeks of this at best. We would have talked about it forever. But the simple fact of new developments in this thing should have never continued. Somehow we are getting new developments every single week about this thing that's clearly almost a year old. He didn't handle it right. And his fans aren't handling it right. If they knew that they didn't keep bringing this up every single time something happens, like they bring it up every single day, gang. Trying to belittle it, they make a new post every day, which inflames it even more. It has Kendrick fans swarming on a post. You're making new Kendrick fans every time you post this stuff. They couldn't celebrate his #1. They had to downplay the other one. The posts go neck and neck. It can't be, he's #1. It'll be, he's #1 and Kendrick is #2. Like, it's like it gotta be everything. They gotta drag Kendrick name into everything instead of just enjoying it. And so Andrew Schulz is the same way. From the beginning of this battle, he's been nothing but Team Drake. Nothing but Team Drake. And he has made it clear that he thinks Drake is the better artist. Let's just say that. So when Kendrick made that statement, don't let no white man talk about no black, don't let no white comedian talk about no black female, that's law, it hit him. It hit him. It hurt him. You got to think how that reverberated through our culture, and everybody started to kick up dust at him to the point he had to respond. And respond he did. Respond he did. I have a whole video back down there. I don't want to revisit the whole thing because it's absolutely disgusting. It's one thing to joke, but it's another thing to take a man and say, yeah, his people would beat me up, but if I was in a cell with Kendrick, I would easily make love to him. Consensual, sweet love. So you're talking about raping a man. That's not funny. That's not what Conan did on the stage last night. Right, gang? He's talking about he would take the meat between his legs and make a nice little coochie out of it. See, I'm being vulgar because I want you to understand what this guy was saying. As he went talking, he kept going with it. And the little co-hosts, which some of them are people of color, found this to be hilarious. Well, it was fake laughter. It was obviously forced chuckles. It wasn't funny. They were trying to make it funny. This guy's an obvious seething undercover racist. It's seething. It's not even like hidden. It's like he seethes the shit and he tries to disguise it with humor. But somehow this guy was allowed to say that, and Drake fans, there's footage of them. Right? Academics TV is one of them. They were loving this. This was hilarious. It's just a joke. You guys can't take jokes. And now, when the tables are turned, it ain't such a funny joke. Andrew Schulz is still able to make his money because his core audience is not us. I said that in the last video. He don't like us one bit. He don't care what we think. He only speaks on hip-hop culture because that gets the views and the clicks that he needs. If he didn't have to speak on it, he would never speak on it. You can tell by his actions and things he really want to talk about, it ain't it. He's not like us. But somehow, if you're going to say something negative about Kendrick Lamar, Drake fans are here for it. And with that being said, I want to discuss the joke that Conan actually said, because at the end of the day, it was not, you got to understand humor, gang. If I say, now we're halfway through the show, which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile. That ain't even a joke about Kendrick or Drake. That is talking about what just happened at the Super Bowl. That is a bigger moment in history. The halfway through the show, which means the Super Bowl halftime show, that's what he's talking about. And that's what happened. Kendrick came out, and some people say he called him a pedophile. He said CLB, certified lover boys, certified pedophiles. He didn't directly ever call Drake a pedophile. Let's just be clear. Never once said Drake is a pedophile. Never. Just gonna be honest, just to be technical. He never said Drake is a pedophile. Never. One time. The joke was not a dig at Drake or Kendrick. It was stating a historical moment in entertainment, in United States of America entertainment. It's just a fact. He didn't call him, he didn't say he was a pedophile. He didn't call him anything. He said it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile, insinuating that at big events, at the halftime, that's what just happened. That's how far this thing has gone. But these Drake fans, gang, they got the biggest crocodile tears. And see, what they don't understand is this the kind of stuff that's going to make him lose the case. You want me to explain why? He's saying that this hurts him. Meanwhile, they're bragging about him having the #1 record. They're saying No Kid, now No Kid's going to be #1. How can his career be damaged if he has a #1 album and a #1 record? The case is going to not work. The whole case is built on him being damaged by UMG allowing this song to come out in the first place, in the second place to promote the song, in the third place to promote it nefariously with 50 million streams to make it, push it, and da-da-da. And so-called give it placing on Spotify that allows it to be seen by more people. All stuff they do for Drake as well. And iHeart settled because they just wanted to be done with it. iHeart doesn't want to sit here and explain all of the nefarious means of making records go #1 and this and that and third. It's a whole lot of things that they did for Drake, but Drake knows that. He knew they was going to settle. UMG's not going to settle. They're going to lose this case because you can't have your career damaged and then come out with Party Next Door and make a #1 record. The two don't mix. They don't mix. I'll be very surprised if that. The worst thing Drake could have is that case go to court. The absolute worst thing they could have, because they're going to start pulling out every single accusation. They're going to start pulling out them girls. I keep saying this. Them girls that was on that video talking about, we was at Drake's party drinking wine coolers. They were young. They're going to find all of them. Betty, Sue, Sally Mae, Annabelle, Justin, everybody that was at that party. They're going to track them down. The worst thing on earth this guy could have is this case go to trial. But the Drake fans don't understand that. So what I'm trying to tell you is, this is a joke. It was funny. These guys are crying real tears because they have no, they're just really, for some reason, they've came to the terms that Drake is the only entertainer on earth that cannot be joked about. And every joke about him, they're taking it hard. I don't know when this happened, when this guy is somehow can be joked about. I'm just going to be honest. My brother-in-law was here, gang. I tried to get him to come. I said, come on my show with me. My brother, you know me, he loves Drake. Comes on. I said, try to come on my out. Try to get him. I almost had him. He said, nah, gang. I'm not coming on there because y'all going to do me the same way. He's like, no, I'm not coming on there. It's going to be like freaking Judge Judy. No, I'm not doing it. They're not even going to be fair. I was like, I'm going to be fair. But what I tried to tell him, and this joke hadn't even happened yet. I said, gang, Drake is a public figure, just like Taylor Swift. They're going to always make jokes about him. Why is he supposed to be above the jokes? They make jokes about Kendrick. Everybody gets jokes about him, but somehow, some way, this guy cannot be joked about because it gets real serious. It gets real serious. These guys get real serious about this. And it's fake outrage. Because for one, it was a hip-hop battle. He jumped in it because he thought it was fun. He thought he was the man. He thought he was cool. He thought he could handle it. What did he say? I study rap battles for a living. Apparently you don't, because who you ever seen sue somebody after they lost one? Nah, you don't study rap battles, gang. You watched a couple rap battles, and your ego made you feel like you can do it. So you jumped in the ring with this guy, and you didn't know words could be mean. Like, words could be meaner than my word. His words could be worse. I got some really tough stuff written down, but his words were worse than mine. Because he didn't give a fuck. You did. You know for a fact you wasn't going to be able to go as far as he was going to go with his career. You were the one. You like being famous. This guy would have burnt this whole shit down just to get your ass. The dude wrote 10 diss records for you, gang. You got to understand, you are not on the same level. You're waiting for him to drop so you can respond to it. This guy already had 10 records wrote. Y'all not playing the same. This guy would have battled you all the way to this year. He would have still be battling. He wouldn't even put nothing out. He would have just been battling you. That's what you didn't understand. You came out with the Tupac AI and you thought it was a joke. Nah. You gonna follow through. Well, guess what? He followed through. You wasn't able to do that because you got too much corporate sponsorship to go as far as he was willing to go. He called you some stuff you would never say out your mouth. Right? You thought that, he's a wife beater. You thought all this little stuff you thought you had the nail in the coffin. Man, you puffing out your chest and you walking around what they call it, the embassy, with your robe on, with your Chardonnay, whatever you drinking, your bubble bath getting warmed up. You're like, man, if he say something, listen, I'm going to tell him about his wife. He ain't never married her. He can't say nothing to me. Shoot, he beating her. Like, they got all this little stuff lined up. All of it was weak. All of it was weak. This guy picked you apart psychologically, and then at the end of it, he called you a pedo. And it hurt. It hurt. And he don't realize the culture itself didn't want him to win anyway. So it wasn't much he could say to win that battle, but he didn't know that. He thought all them puffed up streams that he was getting made him the man. You don't understand, the culture really don't rock with him. I'm just going to be honest. It really don't. And Drake fans trying to explain why. I can't explain to you, guy. It is what it is. The culture picks who they want, whoever they feel is best for the culture. I mean, I could explain to you, but I ain't got all day. I'm not going to sit all day and talk for 2 hours why the culture don't accept Drake. Maybe another video. Maybe another time. I'm not doing it today. But that's just where it is. They don't accept you. You jumped into a battle with a guy that the culture loves. You was never going to win that battle. You realize it with the Hard Part 6, and now you suing. And your fans are making it worse because every time they come out with these sad-ass tweets and these sad-ass posts on Facebook and they all up in everywhere just crying all the time, every day, it gets pathetic. And they do you no favors. Take a page out Jay-Z fan book. They don't even say nothing. They just move in silence. They just watch the shit. You know what I'm saying? It used to be like, I want to say 10 years ago, Jay-Z fans was all on Twitter. Jay-Z fans are too old, gang. We too old now to be fighting every day with y'all. Like, we're not going to be on here 3 months straight fighting. No, Jay-Z fans just let y'all talk all that. And then after a while, you're talking into a vacuum and it just fizzles out. You know what I'm saying? Not Drake fans. Every day, all day, they wake up, they go to sleep. They got 15 tweets. They got 10,000 fan pages. It's all day, every day, and it don't stop, but it makes it worse. Y'all never chill, and it makes it worse. All your takes are horrible. They're horrible, they're sad, they're pathetic, and y'all look embarrassing as a fan base. I'm just gonna be honest. And what I've learned is y'all can't accept any criticism at all, because then you come right back, you're not even listening, you're not processing the criticism, you're just jumping in, saying you're listening for your turn to jump in. You're not even paying attention. If Drake listened to half the criticism, we wouldn't be nowhere near where we are. And I'm gonna leave it at that. CLBMG, peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
CLB.